Okay, so in this video, we're going to change how the functionality works of when you're clicking on a hamburger that is on the grill and it appears on the cutting board. The problem is right now it appears in a fixed location. Clearly that's not going to work long term because we're going to have multiple buns. So what we need to do is we need to be able to identify which bun you want the hamburger to appear on. So what we're going to do is we're going to mimic the functionality of the ketchup and the cheese, and that is you're going to click on the hamburger and then click on a bun. Two reasons for this. One, you want to try to have a consistent interaction with the environment. So you already have the dual click functionality where you click on the ketchup and then click on the hamburger. You click on the cheese, you click on the hamburger. So it's going to be a similar interaction. You click on the hamburger and then you click on the bun. So you're clicking on what you want moved and then where you want it moved to. So we're doing it for the purposes of consistency. But there's another reason. Why not just have it automatically appear in the next open bun? Because maybe you have multiple types of bun. Maybe you have bulky, maybe you have brioche, maybe you have a multigrain bun, and so you don't want the hamburger to pair up on the next open one. You want it to appear on a specific one. Which becomes more important is if you also have multiple types of hamburgers. Maybe you have a beef patty, maybe you have like a turkey burger. And so it really makes a difference which patty appears on which bun. So that's what we're going to do. So as far as an overview, what we're going to do is you're going to click on the hamburger and then you click on the bun, which means we need to capture that location of that bun and then transfer it back to the hamburger and say, okay, we clicked on a bun, now move to it. So there's going to be a couple variables we're going to create. We're going to create a variable that captures the bun. We're also the location of the bun, excuse me, and then we also are going to create a variable that captures the fact that you actually clicked on a bun. So it's like, okay, you clicked on a bun, go ahead, transfer that value now to the hamburger and move it. So how are we going to do this? So we need to have a script attached to the bun, and that script is going to capture the click. Oh, by the way, the trash bin, we might get to this this video depending on how quickly I get through this first. But this again is just an object created externally that I dragged and dropped into here. Okay, so back to the task at hand. We need a script for the bun bottom because here's the bun bottom and there's no script attached to it. So create C#, and we'll call this I guess bottom bun con, just as we called the other one top bun con. So we have the bun and we put the script onto it. This already has a box collider. We did that, I think, in the first video or the second video. So when the bun bottom is here, we need to click on it. So let's go ahead and open that up. Okay, so we're in the bottom bun con script. And as I said, we're going to take functionality similar to the cheese and the ketchup. So first, let's create a static variable. Let's do that in the GameFlow script. So public static, and this one's going to be a vector3. And we'll give it a name. We'll call this selected bun. Oops. So there are all different types of variables. This one's a vector3, which means it's going to store an x, y, and z coordinate. So now, let's go back to bottom bun con, and we're going to add an on mouse down. So void on mouse down, just like the other scripts. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to take that new variable which was declared in game flow, selected bun, is equal to transform.position. In other words, take the position of the object the script is attached to the bun, and take that position and drop it into that variable. Now what we want to do is we now need to have that variable, or those values, be transferred to the hamburger. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a variable here in the bottom bun. Actually, no, it'll be a static variable, so we'll go back to game flow. Sorry about that. So public static string, and we'll call this, gotta be careful about our wording. So we already have selected bun as the variable for the vector3. So let's call this bun chosen, and it'll start off as n for now. So this script is attached. The bottom bun con script is attached to the bottom bun. When you click on it, on mouse down, the position of the bun is transferred into that variable, and then this other variable, bun chosen, gets set to yes. Why? Because that's going to work like a trigger. Once this is set to yes, the hamburger will be moved. But the first part of this is really clicking on the hamburger patty itself. So right now, for patty con, this is what gets executed when you're clicking on the hamburger and you're not trying to put a topping on it. It moves to this location. So we don't want that to happen. We want it to get moved to the bun bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to say if that variable, the chosen bun, is equal to yes, then go ahead and move it, and also move it not to here, but to that variable that we declared, the selected bun variable. So that means we need to add another and in here. A couple more ampersands. And it's also in game flow. And it's selected bun. It's bun chosen equals y. So if you're not placing cheese and you're not placing ketchup and a bun has been chosen, then you can go ahead and move this. And where are we moving it? We're moving it to the selected bun location. I probably should have chosen a better variable that indicated that it was a position, like added POS at the end, that kind of thing. Okay, so what this is saying now, we have our two variables. If you click on the bun, those variables get modified. And then the patty will be moved to 1 if the other one is set to yes. And it does get set to yes. So technically this should work. The only problem is you're clicking on the bun first. We're going to have to put in one more thing to have the hamburger be clicked on first. Okay, no error messages, so let's give this a run. So we put our bun, we put our hamburger, and now currently if we click on the bun and then click on the hamburger, it indeed moves. So again, we're basically just recycling functionality that we already came up with, and that the idea is that you are moving an object based on another object's position. and you're doing it based on a mouse click. So, your choice, we could leave it like that because technically it works, or do you want to click on the hamburger first? So I'll tell you what, let's leave it like that for now, because this will also allow us to throw away the hamburger. So let's take a look at that. So we haven't added the actual cooking mechanism yet, but we will. And it's possible for the patty to get burned. If it is, then you need to toss it. Or maybe you selected too many hamburger patties and you actually needed a turkey burger patty, or you needed a hot dog, whatever. We'll see how far this game goes. But at any rate, you may need to throw away something that's on the grill. So now that we have click functionality where it doesn't just automatically appear to a fixed location, but it'll go somewhere based on another click, we can now toss that hamburger. So what we're going to do is going to make some space down here first. So let's click on the crate and move it over. And again, like I said, want to avoid overlap because we don't want there to be any collision issues where you're trying to click on one crate, but you're actually clicking on the other one. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it. If in your game, you'd probably actually want to make the spacing consistent. And then we'll just take that trash. Again, this was just made externally and imported. So put it there. And let's move this. Oh, a couple of things. So this was made in Paint 3D. So again, we had to scale it out. And 2, we need to move this towards the camera. So there it is. Now we could just grab this. And we can rotate it. There's actually a recycle symbol on the other side. So for rotation, leave 180. And then we can just move it back. So probably not the best image to use. It's a recycle bin. You really wouldn't be recycling food. Also looks like there's like paper trash in there, but still gives you the idea. So let's just see how that looks. All right, it's a little clipped off. So let's move this one a tad, move this one a tad, move this one in a little bit more. Okay. I suppose you could also rotate this. So rather than being wide this way, it could be rotated just 90 degrees. But this will work for now. So now this, it does not have a box collider. You can see it's got a transform, it's got the mesh for rendering, but it doesn't have a box collider. So add physics box collider. We'll click on edit. And in this case, the collider looks to be an appropriate size because you can see the green line here, green line. So it looks like it's appropriate. So what we want to do is we have to decide, like I said, do we want to click on the location and then the hamburger, or the hamburger and then the location? So if we're throwing things away, I'd say that we probably should indeed, as we said at the beginning of the video, click on the hamburger first. So that means we need one more variable. Just as you have a variable that says, okay, I'm trying to place ketchup, okay, I'm trying to place cheese, you need to have this that says, okay, I'm trying to move a hamburger. So what we need to do is the hamburger, it won't be a static variable. It will be a non-static, just like how you're putting ketchup and cheese. You want this hamburger to move, and each hamburger is going to have its own variable, so you don't want it to be static. So for patty con, again, this is attached to that hamburger patty. Public, oops, sorry, not static, public string, and place patty. I suppose you could do move patty, but again, we're trying to keep a naming convention that when we see this in a list, we know what it does. We know that Place ketchup places the ketchup, place cheese places the cheese, so place patty will be moving the patty somewhere. So, and we'll start this as set to the value n for now. So again, patty conscript is attached to the individual patties. Each one will now have its own variable as to whether or not you're trying to place it. So on mouse down, we need to identify if you're trying to place it. So this is going to have to change a bit. So if place patty is equal to y, actually no, we need to, if place patty is equal to n, needs a double equal sign, then we want something to happen. Well, if you're not placing this or this, and you haven't selected a bun, then you want place patty to be set to yes. So this is how place patty gets set to yes, or set to y. But like I said, you also want to be checking for these. So if you haven't chosen place patty and you're not trying to do any of these other things, so we'll grab all these. And then we'll read this through one more time to see if it makes sense. And again, the whole thing has to be in parentheses. So each value you're checking is in parentheses, and then the whole thing is in parentheses. So this is saying if place patty is set to no, which is the default setting, I'm not trying to place cheese, I'm not trying to place ketchup, and I have not selected a bun, so we'll change that to no. Then we want to place the patty. We want place patty to be set to y. However, if I'm not trying to place cheese and I'm not trying to place ketchup, a bun has been chosen and place patty is equal to yes. So you're really checking the same variables just for different values. So I'm not placing cheese, I'm not placing ketchup, the bun has been chosen, and I want to place the patty, then we move it. The problem is that this is still initiated by clicking on the bottom bun, because this simply says if it's been clicked on, change this to yes. We don't want this to happen until the hamburger has been clicked on, which means this needs to know the hamburger has been clicked on. But the problem with that is the clicking of the hamburger is not a static variable. And we need it to not be a static variable because we need to know exactly which hamburger. So it looks like we're going to have to create one more static variable that is saying, has any patty at all been placed? So let's go to GameFlow, public static, string, any patty chosen, and that's equal to n. And then when we click on the patty, so when we click on the patty, oops, sorry, it's GameFlow.AnyPattyChosen. That one will get set to yes. So we're tracking two things. Which specific patty has been selected? Because only this, if there's 6 hamburgers out there, only the one that you click on has been set to yes. But we also need to know if any at all have been chosen. So know that that's been done. we'll go back to bottom bun. This will now only happen if that's set to yes. So if gameflow.any patty chosen equals yes, then at that point we'll say bun has been chosen, and we'll say at that point, so only if any patty has been chosen is set to yes, will we then capture the location of the bun that is being clicked on. So let's go back to patty. So you click on the patty, place patty gets set to yes, any patty chosen gets set to yes. This is on down. And actually, I think this might require one additional click. So you click on, yeah, I think what we need to do is we need to take this out of the on-click area, because what's happening is, and let's actually just put these two next to each other. It makes it seem more confusing when in fact these two they're really related as far as what we're trying to do. So we click on the bun, so on mouse down, we click on the bun chosen gets set to yes. When bun chosen is set to yes, that's when we move the patty. The problem is right now the moving of the patty is on mouse down. We don't want it to be. We want the patty to move when the that value has been, so you want the patty to move when the bun has been clicked on. So if we pop this into the update section, we'll probably eventually in here have to change some of these values back to no, like place patty because it's already been placed. So what you're saying is you're not moving the patty when you're doing mouse down. You're moving the patty when these values are set to these corresponding values, and these only happen if you've already clicked on the patty and you've already clicked on the bun. I believe that should do it. Got an error message for game flow for any patty chosen, so I probably did not save it. I did not save it. So it's a little bit challenging that you'll be able to reference the variable even though it hasn't actually been saved. So no big deal, it just wasn't saved. So we click, and so we've got our patty, we've got our bun, we click on our hamburger, we click on our bun, it moves. Perfect. Click on our bun, click on a patty, it does not move. Click on the bun, it does move. Absolutely perfect. So now this, like I said, scales very, very well because say you have different types of buns and different types of patties, you can now specifically say which bun and which patty you want to be moved to where. Okay, so I said what I was going to do was I was going to add the trash, but this video is running kind of long, and I don't want it to drone on, so it's going to be a similar functionality though, where you're going to click on the trash, a variable gets set to the fact that you click on the trash, you click on the hamburger, and it'll move it in. So just a quick preview of what the next video will have. All right, so that should do it.